One love, God bless. Far Nelson here, and today we're back with another Sunday service where we pick a random scripture and then we reason on what it means, to us. Because if you're watching this message is for you as well. So let's pick a random one. You see, we land on Psalms. Got a couple highlighted right there. So let's go into it. We're at Psalms 19, verse 7. So Psalms 19, verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. Ooh, this is a good one. Y'all got lucky today. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. And then I also highlighted, see, I jumped and skipped down. So that was verse 7 and 8 from Psalms 19. Very powerful. And then verse 14 at the bottom where I highlighted again says, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. So that is a very powerful Psalms that we just landed on. Psalms 19 might be one of my favorite Psalms of David. And let's just break that down, verse by verse. So the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. So the law of the Lord, say you've been living your whole life by the law of society only. That's good. That's all right. That's decent. You haven't killed anybody. You haven't stolen things. You haven't, committed bank fraud, or you haven't cheated anybody, or out of money and stuff like this. But even the actual law doesn't say anything about cheating on your girlfriend or things like this. It doesn't really say that you particularly can't cheat on your wife even. The law doesn't say that you can't be filled with wrath and anger. The law doesn't say that you can't have perverse thoughts and perverse actions. You can in the sanctity of your home, but you're not allowed to do it in public. That's what the law of society says. But when you follow the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. See, the law of the Lord is much more simple. It's not a bunch of, different statutes and different, Congress legislations and all these different laws that you have to look up, and no abortion and this and this, blah, blah, blah. It's not so much up to date. You don't have to see what county this is legalized in or what state you can have a gun in. These aren't the laws of the Lord. It's not so complicated as a law of man. The law of the Lord is perfect because it's simple. The law of the Lord is simply the essence of the 10 Commandments. Sometimes people take the 10 Commandments a little too literal, but it truly is the essence of the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife or want thy neighbor's things. Thou shalt not, disrespect your mother and your father. No gossip, no perverseness, no adultery, no cheating on your wife, no cheating on your spouse. It doesn't matter if it's your wife. You shouldn't cheat. There's no lying, no spreading these gossips. It's very, very simple. There's of course a few more of them. I don't have them all at the top of my head. But of course there's many of the 10 Commandments, but it's very, very simple, Rest one day of the week, work 6 days, rest one, hope preferably the Sabbath, the Shabbat. But The law of the Lord is perfect. It's there for a reason. You have one day of rest because if you work 7 days, you're going to overtire your body, your spirit, your mental. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. When you realize and you start following these commandments instead of so much of just focusing on, am I doing right according to society? You realize your soul is uplifted. Your soul is like, oh, I need to figure out more ways of experiencing things like this. I need to find more truths instead of living in this falsehood. It converts your soul. It helps you see the truth in what you've been doing and how there is a better path. It converts you, turns you away from how you've been living into a better existence, a better incarnation, a better understanding and overstanding of society. The law of the Lord is perfect. You'll be able to realize who isn't following the law of the Lord and why they have so much trials and tribulations in their life. Or you'll be able to look in your past and see, oh, that's why this kept happening. That's why this kept popping up this way. Because you weren't following the law of the Lord. You were just like, okay, I'm good by society's terms, but behind closed doors, I'm indulging myself in sin and wickedness and things that is seeming normal, but it's truly addictions. It's truly things that are making my spirit and soul addicted to these things, these objects, these false idols, instead of being attached fully to the Lord. When we attach ourselves and get addicted to these, devices or these celebrities or these bad habits that we have, whether it's overeating or, sexual habits or just simply you maybe just have drug habits, or some people just like to steal things. Like even if it's petty little theft things, people just build habits, from when we were a kid, from being taught from other people or from society bringing it into our face and us thinking that is normal. We have these habits, these addictions, even if it's you're addicted to talking trash on, under people's posts, and even if they are doing wrong and they don't need your judgment. Let Yahweh judge them. So we have to let go of these addictions, whether they're macro or micro addictions, even when we click follow on somebody who we do not know at all, but we just are so, entranced by their content. We're like, oh yes, I'm gonna follow them because they made me laugh so many times. I'm gonna follow them because they're attractive. I'm gonna follow them because what they're doing is cool. I'm gonna follow them because of, I like their fashion or I like their music. When you're following these people, unless you're following a GoFundMe for, African awareness of, somebody needing help or just somebody needing help. It doesn't have to be Africa, but, go ahead, follow some African awareness pages and get involved. But unless it's something that is pushing a progressive movement, obviously, an environmental movement, obviously, you are only following things that are feeding your addiction, feeding your distractions, feeding your separation from the law of the Lord. Wow, this one's perfect. This one's perfect today. This one's really is perfect today. Cause I wanted to come up here and talk about addictions, but Psalms 19 is perfect. It's a perfect reminder to get away from these addictions, micro or macro. People don't talk about social media and your phones and stuff like this as addictions, but they are truly addictions. Food is addictions. If it's not healing foods, and you know what healing foods are, vegetables, fruits, nuts, berries, these are healing foods. Mushrooms, well, I guess it's vegetables. But these little micro and macro addictions that we have in our life that we just call normal things. Going to fast food is a normal thing. Getting some, extra clothes when you already have barely enough room to fit your clothes is a normal thing. You're addicted to shopping. you know. There's many things that society normalizes that is not actually the law of the Lord. It does not align with the law of the Lord. And that's why your soul is so constricted. It's so filled with so much anger, and that you focus 9 times out of 10 on the negative instead of so many blessings that people keep on telling you is around you. That people keep on saying, oh my gosh, you're so blessed. And you come back with, yeah, but this is happening. This is going on. We want to get out of being people like that. We want to realize the law of the Lord is perfect, and we're following that law. We know that we are perfectly aligned exactly with how Yahweh wants us to walk, exactly with how the Lord and the universe wants us to go. So it converts the soul from being so attached to society, from being so constricted, so filled with anger, depression, guilt, judgment, hate, greed, lack. So the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. So the testimony of the Lord, this can go in multiple ways, but let me break it down into you how the couple ways that I'm truly understanding it is the testimony of the Lord, the ways that the Lord have laid out, this book. And honestly, when you think about the testimony of the Lord, you're really talking about the testimony not of only the Bible, but you're talking about the testimony of the Quran. You're talking about the testimony of the Bhagavad Gita. You're talking about the testimony of, Think and Grow Rich. You're talking about the testimony of anything that actually has divine truth in it, that is going to lead you to your best and highest self. This is divine knowledge coming from the Lord. This is something that's coming from people who, if you ask them, I'm sure 9 times out of 10, they say they pray every day and they live more close to the law of the Lord than outside of it. Even these self-help books is a testimony of the Lord, because they are giving you these blessings that the Lord has blessed them with, and they are so happy to help others that they took the time and wrote this down, not knowing if it was going to make them $10, $100, or $1 million. But they wrote these things down into a book because they knew that this would help people, regardless if it was just the people in their family, the people in their community, or actually touch the whole world. They took the time and the effort to write the testimony that the Lord gave them to give to us, to make wise the simple. But if you want to be straightforward with it, the testimony of the Lord, if we're coming straight from the Bible, it will show you. If you read throughout the Bible up into Psalms 19, you can read the whole thing. This is what you'll read until Psalms 19. You will see again and again and again how the Lord comes through every single time when the generations pay homage, pay respect to the Lord. When the generations change from the ways of thinkings of maybe how their fathers may have misstepped, served other gods, served, just other types of mindsets, even self-interested mindsets, and ignored the ways that the fathers before them walked, as David, as Abraham. So again and again, the testimony of the Lord, the testimony of this book shows us how, you can walk in however ways that you want to walk in. Go ahead and you can serve, these make-believe gods, these make-believe celebrities that you want to praise and serve and scream about. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I saw them. But it's going to lead you down a path of destruction. I'm not going to sit here and say you're going to burn in hell. I'm not one of these people, but the metaphor there is that your soul becomes filled with so much confusion, so much want, so much, angst to get more, to be like these false idols that you praise, who are only men, only women. When we have to realize the person that we should be idolizing only is the Most High. We should be wanting to live how we see other people who are aligned with the spirit of themselves live, and who are aligned more with their actual self, or their actual true self, the true happiness of all things. We see it as Jesus in these teachings. We see it's their disciples in these teachings, and they don't care about making sure they're super rich and wearing the best designer clothes. No. The people who are most in touch with their spiritual self is the monks, the gurus. And 9 times out of 10, these people wear one type of outfit most of their life. So we have to separate ourselves from thinking that we just need, when the testimony of the Lord shows you that we are already born with everything that we ever could need. We just have to be accepting. We just have to be open. We just have to be receptive and do our part. The best quote I've ever heard is we want God to work for us, but we don't want to work for God. How's that work? So we have to put in that work and that effort and realize the testimony of the Lord is sure. It's sure. You're not going to switch it up. You can see how there is not only people in this book, but people in other books, people in life, people on social media. You can see how they'll be, flaunting it and acting like they're all living good for a while. They're doing crazy things, Sometimes we don't know how crazy to the extent of things they're doing until it comes out later, like the, Diddy situation and things like this. But they're living and flaunting this lifestyle that you can tell is not close to the Lord, not close to what Yahweh would want. But they're successful. They're thriving, it looks like. They have so many cars, such a big house. They can buy any food they want, any, clothes they want, anything they want, they could buy. But we don't know that truly they are suffering in their soul. Their soul has not been converted because they do not follow the law of the Lord, which is perfect. So their soul is suffering more and more. The more and more they gain, the more and more they need, they think they need, the more and more deals they make, they realize it's not enough. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. It doesn't matter what place you came from. It doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter how rich you are. Follow the ways of the Lord, and it will take you on a path that is sure. Follow these celebrities and these false idols, and there's no surety in this. Yes, you may get the nice cars and a lot of money too, but you will most likely feel something missing within. There'll most likely be something within that you're trying to fill. A lot of these people talk about these things. So we have to realize that there is much we could do. But we have to follow the testimony of the Lord in our path, in our ways, in our dreams. So the statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. That's pretty much what I just talked about. The ways of the Lord, what the Lord is stating to us, what the Lord is putting on a pillar for us are right. Filling the heart so you don't have that pit when you get to that. When you finally get to your success, you have done it in the law of the Lord. You have done it with the Lord by your side. You have done it with grace, with holiness, with actual, happiness, with joy within your heart, because you know you have done it in a righteous way. You haven't cut corners or done evil things here and there to get where you are. You have no thoughts of looking over your shoulder or, hoping that you don't get caught for something. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. So what did I just say? The 10 Commandments and just the words in general that you feel when you are in meditation or when you are praying. These are the commandments of the Lord. When you hear these divine words, or when you read these divine words, when you read the 10 Commandments, it is pure. The commandments of the Lord are pure. They're here so that you can really follow these things, especially if you're in touch with your meditation and your prayer and you're able to really hear that divine voice sometimes. When you follow these commandments that the Lord gives you in these times, you will find that everything works out perfectly, and sometimes even better than you could have imagined. You fall in line and find opportunities where you thought, I thought I was just going to get some bread from the store. Sometimes it really is that simple. Sometimes the Lord says, oh, you told that one bread maker over there in the farmer's market. Or for me, it was, you told this once, the Sprouts guy at the farmer's market, oh yeah, I remember you and your cousin. I'm gonna come back next weekend and get some Sprouts. So that's one opportunity. You're just going to get some Sprouts just to, follow your laws. You don't want to say something and not follow through. So you go and do that thing. Get us some Sprouts. The guy's happy, he sees you. Then you find out, oh, you can also do this yourself. You can also make this happen and do it all for free and blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, I'm over here just trying to respect what I've said, which, following in the footsteps of the Lord. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. If it's possible, I will make it happen. But by me doing that, it opened me up to new business opportunities, to new friendship, to new kinship. Maybe the Sprouts guy and me, we would start trading, herbs and spices and different things. So we have to realize that when we are walking in the statutes of the Lord, and we're walking in the commandments of the Lord, not only does our heart rejoice, but our eyes are enlightened. We are able to see the blessings everywhere that we walk. We are able to actually feel that we are blessed everywhere. It's like that feeling that people say, take time to stop and smell the roses. This is what it feels like when you have enlightened the eyes, when you realize that everything is a blessing. The commandments of the Lord are pure because the commandments of the Lord are truth. That's like what I talked about the other day. When something is true, there's going to be, of course, lots of people who might say, oh, it's not true, blah, 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 blah. You can listen to them, or you could try it out and see if it's true for yourself. Take 30 days and try it out and see if it's true for yourself. Of course, you can look online and see how there's a bunch of negative things that happen to people when they went on a fast. Or you could just try and fast yourself. See if you get the benefits or you don't yourself. There's some things in life where we don't need to Google to make sure that it's all right. We have to put in effort, put in work, and put in patience and try it out ourselves. It takes 30 days to build a habit and to really see if something is true. But The commandment of the Lord is pure. So if you walk in the statutes of the Lord, it won't take 30 days. It won't. It might take a week for you to see the benefits and the changes in your life. This is how pure the commandments of the Lord is, how pure the word of the Lord is. Walking in the law of the Lord. Enlightening your eyes. Letting those who have ears hear. Letting those who have eyes see. Really see without the veil that society has put on our eyes. Of course, it will shade back in and out until we reach full enlightenment. But for most of our life, most of our day, we'll be able to feel when we're not walking in the ways of the Lord or not remembering how blessed we are, is what I should truly say. And we can shift our consciousness back to that place, back to that true self. Open our eyes and relax our muscles in our foreheads and just look around and be like, oh my gosh, I'm blessed. Yeah. So the last one, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. So let the words of my mouth, or what I speak, be acceptable. In the meditation of my heart. So not only what I speak, but what I feel, what I think. If you're not in tune with your feelings and your thought process, then there's not a meditation. You must be in tune with your mind, with your heart. You know, when you get into a stressful situation, what happens? Your heart starts beating fast, super fast, and out of control. Because you start thinking all these things, you know. Meditation of my heart. We have to realize that we need to always be training ourselves to connect with that heart space, connect with that inner self, to fight these demons from within and throughout. We don't want to get in situations and burst out in anger, burst out in sadness, burst out in, feelings of lack and depression. We want to always keep a meditation within us and throughout us that is going to help guide us exactly where we need to be guided. Because if we're out in this world and we're thinking in ways of just chaos, it's very hard for us to make actual appropriate decisions about our life. Sometimes we act in ways of a rat trapped in a corner and we're just trying to find ways out. So we have to realize that when we are able to keep a meditation, and for me that means real meditation. I advise everybody in almost every video to meditate because it really helps align you in your body and to see where you're stressing and to feel where you're stressing and to realize what you need to work on mentally, physically, and spiritually. But we have to keep that meditation in our heart so that when we get into situations of stress or temptation or whatever situations that might drift us away from the way of the Lord, we're able to keep that meditation. So let it be acceptable, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. When you call on the Lord, or when you're just able to connect with that divine source within, which is the Lord, which is your strength, your redeemer, you're able to get yourself out of situations where you might stray from the right path. You're able to see how a problem is really simple. It's really easy to be solved. When we're in a stressful mind state, sometimes we forget something we've been studying for weeks. And then right when we walk away or get out of that testing room, we realize, oh my gosh, this is the answer, because you've relaxed. So stay in that relaxed state. Stay connected with the Lord always, and keep that meditation in your heart that the Most High is always guiding us to our best and highest self. The Most High is always making sure that we are protected, that we are enough, that we are wealthy in so many ways, that we are healing constantly. When we get in touch with that trueness, there's nothing that can shake us. We are literally unstoppable in this world in the best way, because all we want to do is be of service. All we want to do is listen for the next, sign, see the next sign, hear the next sign, speak the next wisdom, feel the next wisdom. So I'm gonna read it one more time for you. Psalms 19. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Psalms 19. So very, very powerful, very, very true statements. We all have this strength. We all have fallen into society in some ways or another. So don't be hard on yourself if you have these, mini or micro and macro addictions like I was talking about before. We all have had to deal with these things. But the faster we are able to let go of these addictions, the better our life will be. The more aligned we are able to walk in the law of the Lord, the better our life will be. Even with the, Muslim countries and things like this, the reason why they are so strict, even when it comes to how the women dress, is because they truly believe in the book. The thing that has corrupted most religious people and things like this is that they think they are ones to judge. They think they are actually ones who can stone people, who can, force things on people. This is not what the book says. The book says that we should all dress respectfully. We should all be equal. We should all do certain things in this life. There's certain laws that we all should follow. And if there's any, any breakage in the chain. So if you want your wife to wear a hijab, but you're not following the ways of the Lord fully, and not only that, but the society that you're around, the environment that you're around isn't fully indulged in the Lord, then there's going to be friction. If all around you, you saw people treating their wives respectfully, yet their wives were wearing hijabs, but they were being treated like queens, not princesses, queens, then there would be no desire to even want anything else. And the reason I use that example, because I don't really want to talk about, get into women's rights and stuff for this video or anything like this, because all women should have rights to wear whatever they want. But what I'm saying is, The statutes of the Lord are perfect. What isn't perfect is this society. It's the world. So it's hard for people to follow the statutes of the Lord when there's kinks in the chains. When there's one person who is expected to live completely righteous, yet the person who is telling them that they should live righteous isn't fully righteous. We all should be living righteously. We should have to, when we look on our phone, we should see righteous things. We should see things of holiness. The world is sick. The law of the Lord isn't sick. People just perverse the laws, whether it's in the Quran, whether it's in the Bible, whether it's in any holy book. The books have been perverse. The books have been misunderstood. But we can be that change. We can be that statue. We can be that pillar of light, helping show people what the Most High truly wants is for us to love each other, to treat each other as we would want to be treated, and even better. And if we don't get treated the way that we're treated, we don't put attachment to it. We don't put judgment on the person. We don't even truly care. This is where we want to get at, where we realize we are blessed. Regardless if you help someone for a whole hour and they don't say thank you or anything, we just are happy to be of service. And this is where I found the most peace, being thy servant at all times. But I don't want to get too far off topic. I just want to stay on the Psalms 19. But truthfully, that is where you'll find the most peace, is always remembering when you don't want to do something for someone, or someone's asked you to do something, or when you just don't want to do something at all. I am thy servant. Or when you want to do something and you just want to have more energy to do it, remember, I am thy servant. I am thy servant. I'm always ready to serve. I'm always ready to listen to the words of Yahweh. I'm always ready to have my eyes enlightened. I'm always ready to help make wise the simple. I'm always ready to say a testimony of the Lord. So keep that meditation in your heart. Make sure that you're living in a righteous and holy way. And I really hope that you're able to get something from this message and realize it's time to do some praying. It's time to do some meditating. It's time to get in touch with that spirit, because that is where you actually will thrive. That is where you'll actually find peace. That is where you'll find serenity and freedom from the sufferings that you constantly go through. Because I've been there. It's a cycle. You have a good week, a bad week, good month, bad month. It's a cycle until you get out of it. Get out of the laws of the society and get in touch with the laws of Yahweh. Don't kill. Let go of those addictions. Accept those addictions. Let go of them. Accept them. Let go of them. Micro or macro. And get in touch with the law of Yahweh. Get in touch with the law of the Lord. So if you haven't, please like, comment, share, subscribe. I really appreciate everybody that's doing that. You know, it helps me get closer and closer from freedom of Babylon in this society, which I pray that we all get to. I pray freedom for every single one of us. Nobody should have to be a cog in this twisted system that they have created. We were born into this madness. And it's up to us to be free. It's up to us to do the efforts to free ourselves. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, but do everything that you can every single day. One love.